Good morning, everybody. Actually, it's evening, and today I am making bourbon chicken. So let's get right in this. And this is a really kind of a simple recipe. I got all my stuff, okay? So we need between 5 and 6 skinless, boneless chicken breasts. So what I did was I cooked these ahead of time and I cut them up into chunks. And these are, I think there was a total of 7. So first thing we're going to do is, which is approximately about 3 pounds. So, and we're doing this in the crock pot, so it's real easy. So you just put your chicken in the crock pot, right? And then the next thing you want to do is you have the 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. But we're going to mix this all in a crock pot, so we don't need to separate it. And then we're going to use, it's 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. And you're just going to throw that right in your crock pot with your chicken. Okay? Alright, we got our cornstarch in there. Oh, we're done with the cornstarch. So next is ½ teaspoon of salt. So we're going to take our ½ teaspoon, and we're just going to throw that right in there as well. Okay? So the next thing we have is a ¼ teaspoon of black pepper. And I just use a half and just do it out as half. You see that? Throw that in there. Okay? And then our next thing is 4 tablespoons canola oil. And I'm not using canola, I'm using olive oil because it makes it brings out the flavor of all the ingredients that you're putting in there. And that is 4 tablespoons actually. So we got 1, 2, that's 3, 1 more. Alright, 4 tablespoons of which I'm using olive oil instead of canola because I like how it brings out the flavors a little bit more. Alright, and then we have 2 cloves of garlic minced, which I have minced garlic already. So 2 cloves is approximately 2 teaspoons. Put 1 in there and 2. If you like more garlic, guys, you can add to this recipe, and it's really simple because it doesn't matter. It's all going to work out. And then we have 1 cup of water, which let me come over here and get my 1 cup of water. And this is so that the bottom, all the ingredients combine together. Alright, we got our 1 cup of water in there. Alright, so then the next thing we're going to do is 1/2 cup of apple juice. And this is just regular, simply apple juice. And that is 1/2 cup. Guys, this recipe is so good. Oh, alright, and then apple juice in there. So then our next thing is, it says a 1/4 cup of bourbon, but I don't actually put the alcohol in it. I skip that part. And then we're going to 1/2 cup of chicken broth. And this is homemade, so it's going to have a lot of extra flavors in it. I love it when you use your own homemade broth because, oh my gosh, guys, all that flavor from the chicken that gets put in there is just so yummy. And then 1 cup packed brown sugar. So I'm just going to keep using this ½ cup, guys. And I'm just going to pack that right in there. And I don't use a 1 cup. I just like to eyeball it because The best recipes are recipes that aren't to a T. They're either more or less. So that's the great thing about cooking. Cooking is never really an exact recipe. Okay, so then we got our brown sugar in there, and then we're going to use a 2/3 cup of soy sauce. Oh, 2/3 cups of soy sauce. And I don't know about you guys, but I love soy sauce. It makes everything so much yummy. Alright, so 2/3 cup. Pour that guy in there. Okay. Get down. And then we have our chicken broth, soy sauce, apple cider vinegar. So apple cider vinegar is 2 tablespoons. See that? Apple cider vinegar, 2 tablespoons. 1 and 2. You be quiet. Okay, and then our next thing is onion powder, which is half a teaspoon. And that is all I have left in here, so I'm just going to dump it all in there and call that good. Okay? And then our next thing is ground ginger. Now this is half a teaspoon. So I'm actually going to use a teaspoon because if you put too much ginger in there, you're going to know it. There we go. 1/2 teaspoon of our ginger. Okay. And then our next thing is our half a teaspoon of crushed red pepper. And I dehydrated these out of my garden last year. So half is going to be about probably 1 or 2 of these. And you just crush them up by hand and just put them straight in there. But I'm going to put 3 of in mine because I really like pepper. That's going to be so good. Oh, I cannot wait. Alright. And then we got that in there. Chicken broth, our last. Okay, so then now that we have all our ingredients in there, in our crock pot, so basically what the next thing that you want to do is pretty much, and I got my little spoon, you're just going to stir that all in there. You're going to turn it, is what they call it, being turned. And you put your starch and everything in there. Alright, I gotta lift this up so I can get the cord out. Alright, now I'm going to sit this over here on the counter so then it can't be bothered at all. So we just giving that a stir, and then pretty much you let it warm up, and you just keep stirring it, and that's it. That's easy bourbon chicken without the alcohol, guys. What do you think? I mean, it's got a lot of ingredients in it, but it is so easy because you can add stuff and then you can just kind of skip stuff. So I'm going to show you what it. So this is. It's all in the crock pot, and all you do is you just stir it around there, and then you just heat it up. Yeah, so stay tuned. Hey guys, and welcome back. So I wish you could taste that. It is amazing. It's all done in the crock pot. You guys can see I got my crock pot. So the bourbon chicken, the great thing about it, and the great thing about cooking, is that you don't always have to follow a recipe. You can leave stuff out and add stuff, and it's still going to taste great every single time. Great thing about cooking is these recipes are meant to be altered. You find it, if you don't like something, you can take it out or you can add something else. And that's what I do when I cook. I try a lot of stuff. I leave a lot of stuff out. And it always turns out so good and so yummy. So try this recipe, bourbon chicken. It's easy. if you don't like something, you can leave it out. And the great thing about cooking is that it will still taste awesome. Yeah, so thanks for watching, guys.